Once all of your ingredients are assembled, you can begin to carefully measure. We'll start with the lye. For this recipe, we're using 2.25 ounces. Especially with small batches like this one, it is important to measure exactly. Many problems that soap makers encounter can be avoided simply by measuring correctly. Next, we'll measure out the water. Use distilled or purified water if possible. You'll also want to make sure to choose a container that is non-breakable and heat resistant. Again, measure accurately. For this recipe, you'll need 6.1 ounces of water. Now we're ready to mix the lye and water. Make sure to do this in a well-ventilated area. I prefer to use my stovetop's exhaust fan to catch the fumes. Always add the lye to the water. Never attempt to pour the water into the lye, as this could cause a volcanic reaction. Stir gently until all lye has been dissolved. You'll notice the chemical reaction that is already taking place to heat the lye water up to as high as 250 degrees. Until you are comfortable with your own soap making technique, I recommend keeping all temperatures regulated to 100 degrees. The lye can go into an ice water bath to cool. Make sure you do this in a place where it will not be disturbed. While the lye is cooling, you can begin to melt the hard oils. First, I'll measure out exactly 3.2 ounces of shea butter. Your scale should have a tare button to zero out the amount. Then I'll carefully measure the coconut and palm oils for this recipe. I like to use a medium-high heat on the stove. While the hard oils are melting, I'll measure out my fragrance and additives. How much of these you use is strictly personal preference. I want this soap to be loaded with lavender, so I'll be using 1 tablespoon. I'm also going to use 3 teaspoons of lavender essential oil. Let's set these aside and go back to our melting oils. While the oils continue to melt, I'll check the lye. You can see here that it has reached about 100 degrees and is now ready to come out of the cold water bath. I'm replacing the lid to avoid any spills. Now I'll measure the soft oils, olive for this recipe. and set that aside. When there are only small chunks of oil remaining, I go ahead and remove it from the heat and stir to dissolve them. I'll add the olive oil to the other melted oils. It is not necessary to heat the soft oils as they are already in a liquid state. I'll check the temperature and place my pot in the cold water bath if it's too hot. We'll want the oils to be around 100 degrees. While that's cooling, I'll double check the lye temperature. It's ready to go. The oils have cooled relatively quickly and are ready to come out of the cold water bath. Now I'll carefully pour the lye water into the oils and stir gently. It is important to avoid splashing the mixture. Your stick blender will mix the soap perfectly. Now I'll begin checking for trace. Trace is identified by the ability to see trailings on the surface of the mixture when some of it has been drizzled on top. I'll add my essential oil and blend to mix it in thoroughly. I'll do the same with the lavender buds. I've lined my mold ahead of time and the soap is ready to be poured. Smoothly pour it into the mold and use a plastic spatula to scrape out any remaining soap. You can also use the spatula to smooth out the top. Cover the mold and insulate it with old towels or blankets. Let it sit for at least 24 hours. No peeking. You may see something strange that will make you curious enough to interfere when you probably shouldn't. The soap is ready to be removed from the mold when it is firm and you can make gentle impressions with your finger. Peel off the freezer paper, and here you have a great block of soap. To get perfectly straight bars of soap, I like to use an inexpensive miter box from the hardware store. You can also buy soap cutters like this one from any of the online retailers we have listed in our digital manual. Congratulations! In just a few weeks, your soap will be ready to use.